that kind of brought back a memory of, because like I don't go to that many concerts that are at venues that have like auditorium seating where you have to go to the front. I had to like shoot a concert once for the show I used to work on called Alt News, and it was at Varsity Center, which is like a theater in Carbondale. You remember Varsity? We did a show there once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the shoot didn't work out because a guy who will remain unnamed, which this is funny because like he literally was just talking about me the other day to Hannibal Buress, which is why I think this memory came back to mind. But like this guy who will remain unnamed, he was supposed to let me and my production crew know when the concert was going to start so we could like go and shoot the person we're there shooting, because it was like a show of like 5 rappers. And like we got to interview the rapper that were there to like, you know, try to shoot and stuff, but we were waiting for his set to start. Mm-hmm. And we were hanging out in the back for like 30 or so minutes, just chilling, making jokes and stuff. And then the guy walks in and he's just like, not the rapper, but the guy who's supposed to tell us the set list and stuff. And he comes in and he's like, oh yeah, what are you guys doing here? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, the guy, he just got on. He was on like for about 30 minutes now. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, he's been up there for a while now. I'm like, there's supposed to be 2 other rappers performing. It's like, oh yeah, those 2 guys got too high and dropped out. I'm like, why are you talking about this so casually? So like we immediately grab our cameras, tripods, we start running to the stage. And like, it's a surreal visual because it's, like it says, auditorium seating. Yeah. And it's just like maybe 20 or 30 or so like teenagers just going like this, like with like a front row seats. Like you can't see it because it's a podcast, but like just waving their arms around like stick people, and like the row of seats all empty except for like just 2 people sitting in the middle. I don't know what the hell they are. And like popcorn. The guy is, and like the guy is basically, the guy who we're there to shoot is basically done with his set. And like the only thing I hear as soon as like we walk in is like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like he was like an emo rapper. And like, oh my God, I was like, this is fucking terrible. I'm so glad I can live past that memory now, laugh at it, but that was such a haunting memory. We're hearing about people just standing in front of auditorium seats to dance. Brought me back to that. Like this, you can't dance this. You just kind of like nod angrily.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Which is also a great thing to do at a concert, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's why I was even curious when you say you saw them live. I want to know if people are dancing, because with auditorium settings, it's really tough to like throw a band in there, I feel like. Where I honestly, sometimes I pass on a concert for that reason, where I was close to seeing this great group called the Marias, and I passed on it mostly because like it was going to be auditorium seating.
Yeah. I mean,
they have a lot of great stuff to dance to.
Yeah. It is hard. Like, you know, like I once saw some Nikki Hill, who's like kind of like it does like a 50s kind of rock sound. And I saw her at a city winery in DC, and it was like at the top floor of the city winery, so it wasn't even the main stage. And literally all her songs are danceable, like rock and roll, rockabilly style. And it looks like they didn't even bother to take down the banquet style table that they had in the middle of the room from like a wedding that happened the day before. And I was just like so mad that like they just like they don't like the venues like that city winery. They're like, there's like multiple locations in every city, or like there's like, you know, location in every major city. And I've heard bad things about them in another context of like comedy and stuff. But yeah, like it's just a shame when an artist isn't met with the respect they deserve, you know, with the style of their music, as far as the venue not meeting that.
Like I even had the experience of the opposite at a couple times at Talia Hall, which I like Talia Hall, and I have like a couple. I don't have a couple. I have one buddy who works at Talia Hall. I know some people who work at Talia Hall, but I don't want to like trash talk it. But 2 of the times I went there, I was just confused. They did the opposite, where usually I'm like, why is there seating for this? You should have people like standing to dance and stuff. Where one time I saw this really great artist, Lingua Ignota. I probably butchered her name, but like she does like, once again, another artist hard to put in a box, where I'm just quickly Googling. American singer, pianist. When I was introduced to her, someone said neoclassical, and I was like, that's a terrible genre name. But when you hear her music, it kind of like you get that vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's really, really heavy stuff dealing with like, you know, being a survivor of traumatic events. And since a lot of it, especially when it's live, is just her singing and playing the piano, I was assuming the concert would be a very intimate affair of just like, you know, we're all going to be sitting, you know, nice lighting. But instead, Talia Hall had us all standing there like it was a Danny Brown concert, just staring like she was our cult leader or something, which probably was a vibe that she wanted. But for me, it didn't work out because I was so close to fainting that I didn't faint because one other person did before I could even. And they had to end the concert short for that reason.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
Which I'm glad the person turned out fine, you know, like
the
ambulance came quickly and everything, and like she stopped for like 10 minutes just to make sure they can get her out safely and everything.
Yeah.
But like that was like a result of like I think that decision. And then like the other time, which is a little funnier, was a buddy of mine invited me to this like comedy podcast recording. It was supposed to be a comedy podcast recording, but instead it was just the comedy podcast guys doing stand up. And I don't mind naming the group because I know they're popular, but I didn't like it off of this show. Maybe the podcast is good, but True Anon. Do you know True Anon?
Yeah, True Anon. Yeah.
True Anon. I might have talked to you about this before,
You
but
have,
like they yeah. And like that was, I'm not gonna go too into why I didn't like it, but that was like another one where it was just like I definitely was sitting because Talia Hall has like a second floor with seating and stuff, but they didn't bring seats out for the first floor, so just a bunch of like musty people just standing in a big crowd for this like podcast comedy performance.
Yeah.
And I seen them bring out chairs before, which is why I'm bitching about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my Talia Hall rant.
Yeah. I mean, I had a similar experience. Just a quick story. I saw Jason Isbell at the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach, which I was like, Jason Isbell's coming to Myrtle Beach or North Myrtle Beach. I gotta go. Like, he's never gonna come back. And the House of Blues probably has tons of issues, but it was general admission, and basically it was like if you got there 3 hours before, you could get a spot in the pit, you know. But if you didn't, you're out of luck because everyone was just standing there, and you couldn't leave unless you literally like moved people, like, you know. And I was like, I'm not getting into that. You know, you can have that spot. It's fine. But yeah, you know, sure enough, someone fainted in the middle of the show, probably because they couldn't eat or drink or go to the bathroom, or else they would lose their spot.
Exactly. And like that's the intensity I feel like it's becoming more exposed because people just, well, one, motherfuckers ain't eating enough. That's another thing. But like people are like letting themselves be overwhelmed by the anxiety of like, I can't miss a second of this because I spent $80 to see this.
Yeah.
Where it's way more nicer to have that when you have a chair, you know, you can get back to than having to like deal with the whole thing of like, it took me everything to get to this spot standing in the crowd. I don't want to fucking lose that spot, you know?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's annoying to deal with. Where I'm glad the Mavericks had both options, despite, once again, it's funny to see people standing in the front row.
Yeah, or like that awkward thing where you're standing in an auditorium seat and you're kind of like leaning over the front, and like you have like you're like you don't have enough space, so you're kind of like pinched between the two seats, and you're just like
exactly.
Just shaking your head,
just wiggling.
Like, woo! That's all you can do. It was worth it to have a seat. You know, I can't last very long standing up at a concert before I'm just like in major pain. But
it's definitely the ultimate test for me because I like dressing up going to concerts, and dressing up means I'm going to wear the most uncomfortable pair of shoes I own. And my feet are always bleeding. Not bleeding, screaming.
Screaming.
By the end of the fucking show, basically.
Oh, yeah. The dogs are barking.
Yeah. Dogs are barking. but which I'm there for you also, which you already know, but all the way of just like when a rap show is just either a guy just rapping over his vocals or a guy not even rapping over his vocals. He's just doing a line here and there. Some of the worst shit I ever had to pay money for. And like whatever. And it's something that I hate that I'm seeing it normalized. Like Kanye, I hate to keep bagging on him, but like another thing that he's doing that's getting on my fucking nerves is that he's currently on this weird tour where he's not even performing the songs. He's just renting out clubs, have people pay $100 tickets to like just watch him shake his head and dance to the songs.
Like a listening
he's
party.
Not even rapping it. Yeah, it's just a party. He's hosting parties for this album. And like, it's kind of funny because he's kind of doing what this promise he's saying. My album is my album. Like, a Vulture's album you can play front to back in a party.
Yeah.
But like, But no, but like it's making it worse because I'm already seeing it, influence some other artists of that aspect of like Playboy Cardi, for example. From people I know who've gone to his shows, they say like, oh, he barely even fucking raps. It's just he plays his music as loud as possible. He has a guitarist who's trying to catch up with the beat, and it's fucking great. And I'm like, that's like, this shit is like $160 per ticket. Like, I would slap somebody if I had to experience that. Like, no, that's infuriating. And like, rap shows were already at like a terrible time of like being guys who barely want to like, have like a mix of the beat where their vocals aren't on it. Now it's just getting worse. And it's just making me not want to go outside for these guys anymore. If this is what I have to like fucking deal with.
I was gonna say maybe Playboy Cardi and Travis Scott fans are so convinced that the albums that they put out are good because they all have tinnitus from going to their shows. And I think that's the meanest thing I've ever said on this podcast. I'm a shock jock.
That's honestly what
brother.
It comes off as because it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? This is what you guys are, because like they're all like, these are concert rappers. You wouldn't get it unless you saw them live, and it's like I think I would hate them more if I saw them live. I
mean, Travis Scott doesn't have a lot in his favor in that aspect.
Yeah, especially with Travis. I can't believe they let him still tour. No, I'll die on that hill. I can't believe it. That should not be allowed. To this day, I'll say that's not allowed. I didn't even hate Utopia. But no. we need to figure out something. But unfortunately, we're not. He's just going to have that in his controversies page on Wikipedia. Anyway, rappers, it's not that hard to export a version of the song that has your ad-libs so you can focus on the raps. And the hook, too. You can put the hook in there as well. You don't got to do the hook live. We'll do it for you.
Yeah,
that's what the audience is for.
Yeah.
Just rap.
And again, there is a lot of good elements about concerts like that, too, because it kind of becomes like, before the sets becomes like listening to all your favorite songs with a huge crowd of people, which that experience is awesome. Because like a rapper that I have found that I'm not sure if you've heard of. Have you heard of Big X the Plug?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm indifferent. Like, I haven't heard enough, I would say.
Okay, I can't remember what... It was an autoplay, possibly after Broke with Expensive Taste, but the song Back of My Bullshit came on.
Yeah.
And it just opened with this, like, almost like a ragtime sample. like a 20s ragtime type thing. And I really loved it. I haven't heard like his older stuff, but a lot of his songs are pretty good. But it's kind of like an example of
I definitely prioritize check him out now, knowing you fuck with him.
Yeah, I would try. I mean, I'm not saying like this guy is like blowing my mind or anything, but he's definitely a breath of fresh air where like you fear that the negative things would influence a rapper coming up, like which part of the reason why I say that is because I watched him at like Rolling Loud, which is where I'm getting my picture of like what rap shows look like, where it's just like, he was singing over his records to a DJ playing them, which again, you lose that experience of live where it's like, if I wanted to do that, I would just listen to it on my own, but as far as like style, I think he has it as far as style. So I hope that he takes that spark and brings it up to something good,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like the only person I'll let do that is Future.
Yeah.
Just because it's Future. Because because I saw a Rolling Loud clip of him premiering type shit, and he's not even rapping to it, he's just dancing. I'm just like, this song is fucking awesome. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'll let Future get away with it.
He made it work because I saw him live with it's funny the lineup now. Like I walked in and Tory Lanez was on, and then who else was there? I think I missed ASAP Ferg. He was there.
Yeah,
and then Migos and then Future. I saw that live experience. Migos and Future, they made it work as far as like. And what Future did was he kind of like, he would only play like the first minute and a half of the songs and then go on to a next one. And I kind of liked that because it did keep things like the energy going. But he also had like background dancers and stuff, which really elevated it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, because that's what I mean is he lets his stage presence be more beyond himself.
Yeah.
Because another thing that I really, really miss about rap performances is that there used to just be a hype man. The hype man was very important.
Yeah.
Flavor Flav is undeniably the best hype man of all time. Where I think every great rapper should try to figure out a good hype man.
Yeah.
But now most rappers don't even want that anymore. Because I feel like, not to call Baby Keem a hype man, but some of the cool things about the clips I saw from Kendrick's last tour was seeing how much Baby Keem was letting him like turn this into a way funner affair than it really should be.
Yeah.
You know, especially that one clip of them chasing around each other.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's great. I'll say it to you. But like, but yeah, no, where I just think it's great when a rapper has a hype man to like, you know, do those parts that are tough to get to, like the ad libs or the hook, or just like doing the last part of the bar to like emphasize the lyric and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, where most rappers won't do that anymore. Because one of the crazier things I've seen, because Drake's not a bad performer from what I've seen. Because once again, I haven't seen most of these guys live because I, one, don't feel like dropping the money, and two, this is what I'm having to pay for. Where like Drake isn't one of the bad ones. From what I've seen, he raps his lyrics and stuff. But what's funny is that he just does the walking back and forth around stage alone. Where I feel like if he let himself have either dancers or a hype man, it'll be really cool, you know. But what weirded me out was the most recent thing I saw of him live, because he's getting the shit cooked out of him by ATL currently, like the entire city. He was ranting at one of his concerts about like, man, when you're up, all they want you to do is bring you down, like some shit like that. And he's dressed like a Power Ranger villain for some reason, because like he's wearing like a suit of like space armor, but there's no helmet. Where I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? And maybe it's a part of his whole thing of like him being a new Michael Jackson, which once again, a guy with allegations like him should not be saying that. But like, it's just crazy to see that to make up for the lack of dancers and all of that, he is doing that. But one last thing, which we may have to just allow this content talk into a bonus episode.
That could work.
But like one thing I saw that really ruined my night was, which I don't know if you've seen it yet, is there's this clip of Lil Yachty that went viral of like him walking out on stage to a song at Rolling Loud, like he's hopping around and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a really cool shot. It's like a tracking shot of him coming from the back, and then like the camera follows him on stage from the back as he jumps back towards it, and the crowd is going crazy. You ever seen this clip, Danny?
No.
Oh yeah, it's a really cool clip. But look, I kind of want to see if I can show it now. If you
go ahead.
Mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's just a cool little dance.
Yeah.
It's become like just people be like, yo, Lil Yachty had the most turned crowd at this festival, you know, which I'm always happy for Yachty getting love, because I think he's really had it hard. Because Lil Yachty's not, like, I'm not going to not say he doesn't deserve some hate. Like, the guy, I think he's just young, you know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of condescending to say, but when you're saying shit like, I don't like Rob no more, I listen to Pink Floyd, you can't help but, like, have to be that condescending, because I like his music a lot. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But he's young. But like, anyway, so it's cool to see him, you know, get stuff like this. For whatever reason, and I'm not going to show you because I don't want your eyes to have to go through the pain I went through yesterday. Somebody with AI put Hitler over him in this clip, where it became a clip of Hitler walking out to the crowd cheering, and he's doing the same dance and everything. It's literally a 3D render of Adolf Hitler over Lil Yachty. And like, for me, I don't know what the purpose of a meme like that would really ever be for, beyond just being like, yo, Hitler's awesome.
Yeah.
But like, what disturbed me even more was that the way I found it, it was for like, you know, a funny reason. Like the thing was like, what OJ sees when he ends up in hell. But like, it doesn't make up for the fact that like someone took a very harmless moment for Lil Yachty and just now has like this million viewed video of just Hitler being over it, where at some point the Hitler clip is going to become more popular than the original Lil Yachty clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You'll maybe see it at some point on Twitter. Yeah, it just really, it fucked up my day seeing that, because I was just like, because I seen the Lil Yachty clip for months, and I was just like, oh, it's always a fun clip to watch. Yeah. Where AI... they need to stop.
Yeah.
With the AI, where we're doing too much with it.
Yeah.
We should never have to put Hitler on Lil Yachty. It's a thing I can't believe I'm saying, but we have to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've like, no.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't know what to say either.
Yeah. we should like, let's reset. I'm gonna pretend like, oh, I'm just now hearing that OJ died. You could say that. I'll be like, we're gonna put on like put on the thumbnail. Danny finds out OJ is dead. Walks off podcast.
He was so close to finding the killer.
Yeah.